So anyone that has been in the Amazon space knows that really the Amazon marketplace and e-commerce in general has become very competitive. And in order to scale, you've got to launch new products, add new products to your catalog that are solving a problem for the consumer. So hi, everyone. My name is Hiba Weber. I am the founder and CEO of Seller Mobile, and we offer advanced dashboards and inventory optimization for Amazon sellers. I've got a very special guest with me here today, Andy from BidX. Andy, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So Andy, you work for BidX, and BidX is a software that does keyword research for Amazon sellers, and you guys help with ad optimization. And you've got some really interesting things to share with us today, so I'll let you sort of jump right into it.
Okay, great. So first of all, thank you for the nice intro, and thanks for having me, of course. Yeah, like you said, I'm Andy. I'm working for BidX since around about 4 years now. I think BidX is one of the first mover when it comes to automation and optimization of product ads in general. The founders started with that because there has not been another solution for that. And it is a quite statistical process that can be done automatically, and this is why they first started with BidX, and kind of a half a year later, they pulled me in. Yeah, looking forward to our chat today about one of my favorite topics, which is launching, because like you said, Amazon is getting more and more competitive, and you have to get the ins and outs to get the best position in there.
Yeah. So in terms of launching, so, obviously you've done all the research, you've found the suppliers, you've done everything, you've done the listing, you're all set. Now you're ready to launch your product. What does that look like when it comes to advertising to be able to compete in such a competitive landscape?
Advertising in the launching phase is so crucial right now, and it's becoming more and more important over the time. I can remember when I first started selling on Amazon around about 7 years ago. It was so easy to launch new products. You have just created the listing, and then there was this section where Amazon has showed or displayed the new products, and the first sale that just went in quite easily. And right now, if you do not do any advertising at all in the launching phase, you are simply invisible for everybody, because you will start organically on page 50 or 60, depending on the category, depending on the market, but nobody will see the product. Even if you have a great product that gives some kind of new things to the client, it's just impossible to sell it because nobody will see you. So in that case, advertising is so crucial and will get more important in the future. And also, not only that you are invisible, I think it's also important for the Amazon algorithm to generate the first clicks and sales in the first days, to get that boost, to get the visibility in the next days and weeks, to gain an improvement of your organic positions and all this kind of stuff. So it's very important to use Amazon advertising in the beginning to gain some visibility, to gain the first sales, to improve the performance in general, to being able sell the product in general.
So when you meet with a new customer and you guys are setting up their strategy, their advertising strategy for a new product, what are what do you tell your clients? What do they need to be prepared for? What can they expect? And I know it's a category specific, but can you give some examples?
Yeah, like you said, totally depending on the category they are selling, but I think you have to think about a campaign structure that makes sense in the beginning, and also not only campaign structure, but also ad types and match types. We have some different ad types at the moment at Amazon. They are also developing some new ones. We had the sponsored display ads coming up a few months ago, which are kind of great when it comes to retargeting possibilities, for example. So it totally makes sense to think about possible campaign structures for the beginning, and not only the standard usage of sponsored product ads, for example, but also sponsored brand video is a great ad type for launching a product, because you have the chance to not only show the product with its standard image with a white background and just the product on the picture for your ads, but to use some dynamic videos in there to show the maybe USPs of the product, to show the brand. You also have some brand awareness advantages in there. So it's very important to use all the ad types available on Amazon to get the best out of the launching phase in the beginning.
Got it. So when you're meeting with a client again, and you guys are going over, the strategy, you're obviously setting aside resources, right? In terms of how much you want to spend on these certain types of ads, because there's so many opportunities and they all sort of do something a little bit different. When you think about just your normal product display ad, opposed to video and opposed to display, where are you kind of dividing your resources? What is there like a formula for that in terms of where you want to spend how much money in terms of percentages?
That is kind of a very good question that we get asked a lot when it comes to launching. Normally I would go with a sponsored product ad and maybe a sponsored brand video for the beginning, but with your typical normal campaign structure that you're using for the launching process, I think you should plan with around about 80 to 90%, at least for the beginning, to spend on sponsored product ads. And I think there is kind of an interesting way to estimate how many budget you need in the beginning to launch a product by just checking the main keyword and then going through the results and like trying to figure out on which position you want to be. For example, if you want to go or to get the 10th place because like you want to be the seller that sells the 10th most products for that main keyword, you can like simply go ahead and check the bestseller rankings, or there are tools out there to check that as well, to see how many sales he gets a day. And with that number, you can calculate like how many days you should like keep the sales up on that level. For example, 7 to 10 days in an average category. For some categories, you need to like have that sales number right there for a longer time period. For example, supplements or something like that, which is a very competitive niche. And if you have this number, so sales for the 10th place for a time frame of let's say 7 to 10 days, and you are also having average CPC for that category and the conversion rate for that product, and you can like assume that the CPC is maybe 50 cents and the conversion rate is round about an average of 7 to 10%, you can easily calculate how many budget you need to launch that product. And this is very important because I normally say you do not have to care about the ACoS too much in the first weeks, because you have to gain that visibility, you have to create some client interaction. And this is why maybe CTR and impressions are the more reliable KPIs in the first weeks. And for that, you need to calculate how many budget you need for the launching phase. And this is a very good way to kind of estimate in which direction you will go when you're launching that product.
Gotcha. No, this is very helpful. So we're talking about launching here. What is sort of an estimate launching time period? So where is it that, all right, I've launched this, and it could be a relaunch too later on, but when you are setting your KPIs and you are initially investing a little bit more, is there a time frame you give for that? Or is there another measurement that you sort of take into account?
Yeah, normally when I have this budget approach that I've talked a little bit about a few minutes ago, then I would stop that kind of launching process after I have reached that number of sales. That was my target with that calculation I've done before. It's kind of tough to predict how many weeks or days or weeks or months you need to successfully launch that product, because it totally depends on the category and on the product itself. But basically, I would say it roundabout takes 2 to 6 weeks to launch that product. And after the time frame, that doesn't mean that you have to like cut off the bids and stop all the ads and stuff, because then you will like lose the position again, and all these things. So it's very important to keep the ads up, maybe like concentrate more on the ACoS, but keep the bids up and optimize a little bit more towards that target ACoS, and not basically the budget that you have set up in the beginning.
Gotcha. Okay, that's very helpful. So in terms of starting bids, and obviously it's keyword specific and it's product specific and niche specific, but what is there a specific formula that you guys use to come up with that right keyword bid at the beginning?
Yeah, if you think about what should be a starting bid, of course, this is a kind of tough decision to make in the beginning. There is a formula to calculate a starting bid, and for that you have to take your selling price that you want to offer the product for, and you have to multiply it by the conversion rate you have. That's quite tough because sometimes you do not know what your conversion rate will be, but you can check your other products, or you can estimate how it will be based on products that you have sold in the past. And then you have to multiply it by the target ACOS that you want to reach. And for that, it's also quite tough to tell in the beginning. But basically, we recommend to start with a target of a break-even point. So for example, if your profit margin is 25%, then the target should also be 25%. And then you will get to the point where you maybe will have the result that the CPC should be around about 50 cents or something like that. And we normally recommend to increase that number by 20%. So if the result is 50 cents, you can go up to 60 cents to make sure that you will reach at least this 50 cent CPC, so click price, that you like want to achieve to gain traffic and stuff. So this makes sure that you will get more impressions than you would get if you like start with a bid that is maybe too low.
Got it. And so is there a way, so when you are, setting this, obviously this bid and this formula, are you increasing and decreasing these bids? Is there, and sort of what's like the method to madness when it comes to changing that bid?
Yeah, that's absolutely important, especially in the first weeks, because you could get to the point where you do not generate any impressions in the beginning. And we have talked about that a little bit. It's very important to gain those clicks, to generate some sales, also for the Amazon algorithm to boost you up in the rankings. So that's very important. If you, for example, see that you are generating too less impressions, for example, then you should increase bids, of course. And if you maybe see, okay, the bid was a little bit too high because I'm spending a lot and sales are not coming in the same pace, then you should also increase the bid a little bit. And this you have to do for all keywords in one campaign. You have to decide for each and every keyword, okay, how do I want to go on with that keyword? Is it important? Is it a main keyword? Is it maybe a long tail keyword that I do not necessarily need for long-term success? And based on the decision for each keyword, you have to adjust the bid. So it's very important to analyze the performance data on a regular basis and then adjust the bids. And this is kind of time consuming for a lot of sellers because sometimes you have 1,000 keywords and you're not only launching one product, but maybe 5 at the same time. So it could consume a lot of time to consistently like analyze the bids and then adjust the bids accordingly.
Gotcha. Okay, this is great. So this leads into a very natural, so how does BidX help? But I want to ask one other question before we get into what you guys do and how you support sellers, especially that are launching a new product with these great strategies that you discussed. Outside of Amazon, so when you're launching a new product, and I know that you guys focus on inside Amazon, but it's really important to have that holistic picture. Are there some things that you can suggest to your clients outside of Amazon advertising that they can do to really increase the success of the paid advertising inside Amazon?
Yeah, absolutely. You can, for example, use external traffic to like send some potential clients to the product detail page. You can use, for example, Facebook for that. TikTok is a very useful platform as well because it's growing and it has a lot of like users at the moment, and you can use it for video ads as well to send some external traffic to the product detail page to gain this visibility, to gain some sales and stuff. You can also use influencer marketing, of course. This is another chance you would have to launch the product to get some more sales, to improve bestseller rankings and boost the positions. Yeah.
So then in your experience, one of the things that I hear from sellers all the time is really the advertising costs just consistently have gone up, and that $1 is not going as farther as it was, a few years back. So when it comes to looking at marketing in a very holistic way, what do you think, where are your chances better to scale faster and get the ranking? Is it, and what percent would you invest in outside of Amazon, kind of redirecting traffic to Amazon versus, using Amazon advertising to get your, sales rank to a certain position? If you were to from like 100%, like where would you divert those funds?
That is kind of a good question, and it depends on whether there is a market already or if it's a new product which is kind of inventional or something like that, or innovative. If we are talking about a classical product on Amazon, I guess I would go for at least 80 to 90% spending on Amazon, because this is just from experience. We've seen a lot of clients like trying to get some external traffic on the product detail page. And depending on which platform they are using, the click-through rates and the conversion rates are quite low compared to if you're using Amazon only, because the people already have this buying intention. Basically, when they are searching for a specific keyword or a specific product, they have like maybe saved it in their bookmarks or in their wish list or stuff like that. So they have this buying intention, and sellers can use that by using Amazon advertising and getting that client in this purchasing phase of the sales funnel. So this is the way I would go in the first days and first weeks, because the conversions are still a little bit better. But you can also use, of course, external traffic to increase this amount of clients a little bit, or the potential clients a little bit.
Okay.
So like I said, I would go with 80 to 90% at least in the beginning.
In Amazon. Got it. Awesome. So that brings us to, what can BidX do that really helps make this process of launching a new product a lot more painless for sellers?
Yeah, of course, I'm saying that we can help in several ways. And starting with, for example, keyword research. I know it's very important to do a proper keyword research in the beginning, because you do not want to spend too much money on keywords that are not converting at all. So BidX is helping with the keyword research by providing some keyword suggestions that you can use. And we also are helping in getting more and more keywords in the process of the launching phase by our keyword management feature, which will help people to, or which will help sellers to get more keywords that can convert out of, for example, an auto campaign. The system would detect that automatically and would create that keywords automatically in the second step. And of course, one of our core feature is the optimization of ad campaigns. So once you have set your target, and this is also possible in the tool to do that very easy, you can set up a target, and then the bid will adjust, the tool will adjust the bids accordingly on a regular basis. And this is one of the most important things in the launching phase. We have talked about that. You have to analyze everything on a regular basis. You have to adjust all the bids. Maybe you have to create some more campaigns if you do not get the pace you are looking for. And this is something that the tool can do for you. It will adjust the bids accordingly. We have a one-click setup where you can create campaigns in a few seconds, or a complete campaign structure in a few seconds. So you do not have to spend that much time in optimizing campaigns. And you can use that time for more important things, maybe research of new products, and optimizing listings and stuff like that. And you don't have to care about optimization of bids, which is kind of a boring process.
For sure. So BidX not only has a software that helps you optimize your campaigns and your bids, but you guys also offer a service where someone will take a look at your account and make sure that everything is going according to plan. Is that correct?
That is correct. We do offer a managed service where we also help with creating campaigns, with optimizing bids and budgets, and also maybe helping a little bit on the strategical side.
Beautiful. So, Andy, do you have an offer for anybody watching this video that they can take advantage of?
Absolutely. So if the tool may be interesting for you because you need like support with creating campaigns or keyword research or optimizing bids, we would like to offer everybody in here a free month to use the tool, to test it out, see if it could maybe support and you have more time for the most important things in the business. Then just like we will send, or you will show the coupon code in the video at the end, and this will give you a free month of BidX.
Awesome. Andy, thank you so much. This was great information. And we will have all the details in below.
Thank you so much.